Here's what's making news now around Indiana. Well, this week we resume our Endangered Indiana series. In Grant County, a family of doctors in the early 50s brought innovative medicine and architectural design to Marion. Around Indiana reporter Rachel Redman has more on the storied Davis Clinic.
You know, if you were to follow a busy doctor as he makes his daily round of calls, you'd find yourself having a mighty busy time keeping up with him.
But the Davis family of doctors weren't just busy. They were a rare breed.
This is Mayo Clinic doctors, Frank Lloyd Wright, the arts, all these things. It's kind of a fascinating story.
That it is. It started with patriarch Dr. Merrill Davis and his wife Josephine, a woman newspapers described as Marion's matriarch of the arts.
My grandparents were very much into architecture and art.
Major art patrons that were extremely well connected. The couple once hosted Amelia Earhart.
Well, it was very interesting, as always.
At the height of her fame in their Marion home. So it's not exactly surprising that just over a decade later, their son Richard, now a Mayo Clinic trained surgeon, was working with world-famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright to design a modern family home in the hills of Marion.
If the thing is successful, the architect's effort, you can't imagine that house anywhere than right where it is.
Uncle Dick built this Frank Lloyd Wright house out in Shady Hills. As they were preparing to do that, he and my grandfather and uncle and my dad asked him if he would be interested in designing a medical building. Well, he said he had not done that before.
Wright declined the Davis' offer, but it would ultimately be awarded to another high-profile architect, a guy by the name of Harry Weiss.
He was one of the famous architects of the Chicago shoreline. Weiss also designed the metro in Washington, D.C.
The Davis Clinic was born in 1952, bringing Mayo Clinic-like care to the residents of Marion, Indiana.
Marion, up until before the war, did not have specialists.
The things that people nowadays just assume are available to them in terms of medical care were started here.
Perhaps what made the Davis Clinic so unique, its ability to recruit some of the country's best trained doctors, including Ladislas Wojcik.
Dr. Wojcik, one of the first females to graduate from Harvard Medical School, and she came to Marion.
As you remember it, does this still look the same?
Yes, except for that thing that's been added onto the front.
Obviously, it's no longer rest care.
No.
So did that say Davis Clinic?
Davis Clinic right there. And when I was born, I think it was still one story. They added the second and third stories on about 1960.
It was attractive and it was bright. I remember the fish tanks.
I just remember my grandmother being such a huge part of this because she was behind the design and the arts, and you know, it was almost like a museum to me.
Why is it important? I think the legacy of the clinic and what that meant for the town is worth preserving. When you tear the building down, then a lot of the memory goes away.
Anybody that drives by today, it's just maybe another building, but the history behind it, if they knew the lives, you know, that were entwined in it and what created it, the story is just really, it's pretty cool, and it's not being told.
Rachel Redman,